Hello, everyone, and welcome to Young Adult April 2021. So, today we're going to be looking at the Twilight books and then the Twilight movies. And no, this is not an April Fool's joke, so there you go. Anyway, so let's take a look at the very first Twilight novel. Bella Swan is a 17-year-old introverted girl who moved from Phoenix, Arizona to Forks, Washington on the Olympic Peninsula to live with her father, Charlie Swan, the town's police chief. Her mother, Renee Dwyer, is traveling with her new husband, Phil Dwyer, a minor league baseball player. Bella is admitted to Forks High School, where she usually gets to be friends with a group of friends. A somewhat inexperienced and shy girl, Bella is dismayed by several boys competing for her attention. On the first day of her school, Edward Cullen, a mysterious and beautiful boy, stares at Bella, frustrated. Bella sits next to Edward in biology class, but he seems to be utterly repulsed by her, much to her bewilderment. He disappears for a few days, but when he returns, he is unexpectedly friendly to Bella. The newfound relationship is interrupted by Bella after Bella is nearly struck by a van in the school parking lot. Edward saves Bella, narrowly stopping the van with his bare hands. Bella questions Edward about how he saved her life, but he refuses to tell anything. During a campout, she meets Jacob Black, a local boy from the Quileute tribe. She learns from him that Edward and his family are actually vampires who consume only animal blood. Disturbed and riddled by recurring nightmares, Bella researches about vampires. She compares the characteristics of the vampires in mythology to the Cullens. Convinced that he is a vampire, she finds herself in a state of enigma. Bella is saved by Edward again in Port Angeles when she is almost attacked by a group of men. Furious, Edward drives Bella away and takes her to a restaurant for dinner and then back home. On the way, she tells him of the stories that he is a vampire. Seeing that there's no point in denying it, he agrees to it. He confesses that Bella's blood is more desirable to him than any other vampire. He wanted to kill her on the first day of school. He tried to stay away so that he couldn't hurt her. Over time, Edward and Bella fall in love. Aww. The relationship is effective when a nomad vampire coven arrives in Forks. James, a drugget vampire, who was intrigued by Cullen's relationship with a human, wants to hide Bella for sport. Bella and Edward are forced to separate as Bella escapes with Alice and Jasper, Edward's brother and sister, to hide in a hotel in Phoenix. James calls Bella and claims to be holding her mother hostage. Bella sneaks out and hurries to save her mother. When she arrives at the place, she finds that the hostage claim was a ruse. James attacks her, but before he can kill her, she is rescued by Edward and the other Cullens who killed James. However, James has already bitten Bella. Edward prevents her from becoming a vampire by sucking the venom out of her wound, and she is treated in a hospital, using the story that she fell out of a window as an excuse. After they return to Forks, Edward takes her to the school prom, as Edward did not want Bella to miss any normal human experience because of him. Bella says that she wants to become like him, a vampire, but Edward reiterates he is against this. Bella's desire to become a vampire increases throughout the series. Edward continues to refuse to turn her, as he thinks being a vampire is being a monster, and does not want Bella to suffer the same fate. Aww. So let's take a look at the development of this novel. Meyer claims that the idea for Twilight came to her in a dream on June 2nd, 2003. She dreamed of a human girl and a vampire who loved her but still wanted her blood. Inspired by her dream, Meyer wrote the draft of what is now Chapter 13 of the book. The first drafts were titled Forks instead of Twilight. The publisher requested the title change. At first, Meyer didn't name her two main characters. She chose Edward, influenced by Edward Rochester from Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre, and Edward Ferrars from Jane Austen's Sense and Sensibility. She named the female lead Isabella, thinking she would have chosen that for a daughter. Rosie and Jasper were originally named Carol and Ronald. Ugh. Meyer continued writing to the end chronologically, not worrying about the backstory. She lettered the chapters instead of numbering them, Chapter 13 being E. The last chapter of the first draft kept getting longer and longer, So she wrote epilogue after epilogue. However, she realized that she wanted to explore many of the events of the backstory and the reasons behind the events of the chapters, so she planned to write a 5 to 6 chapter backstory. Instead, these turned into 24 chapters by the time she was finished. In a matter of 3 months, she had completed a novel. She has said she was writing for her own enjoyment, never thinking of publishing the work. She finished the manuscript on August 29th, 2003. Damn! Her sister liked the book and encouraged Meyer to send the manuscript to literary agencies. Of the 15 letters she wrote, 5 went unanswered, 9 brought rejections, and the last was a positive response from Judy Reamer of Writer's House. Meyer had merely sent out letters to literary agents inquiring if they'd be interested in a 130,000-word manuscript about teenage vampires. Luck helped. An experienced assistant at Writer's House responded to her inquiry, not knowing that young adult books are expected to be 40,000 to 60,000 words in length. Due to the error, Reamer eventually read Meyer's manuscript and signed her up as a client. During the editing process, a chapter that used to be chapter 20 was cut out of the manuscript along with Emmett's account of his bear attack and some parts of the epilogue. And now into the cover of the book. Stephanie Meyer said the apple on the cover represents the forbidden fruit from the book of Genesis and Bella and Edward's forbidden love. She uses a quote from Genesis 2:17 at the beginning of the book. It also represents Bella's knowledge of good and evil and the choices she makes. Meyer says, quote, it asks if you are going to buy it in and discover the frightening possibilities around you, or refuse and stay in the comfortable world you know. An alternate cover features Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson, the actors who play the lead in the character's film adaptation. Interesting. So overall, well, I don't know. So overall, this is a pretty darn interesting start to the Twilight series, and it's just, I don't know, it's just really good. I like it. So overall, I give Twilight the book 5 apples out of 5. Actually, 5 vampire fangs out of 5. Anyway, tune in tomorrow as we take a look at New Moon. And until next time, well, what should I say next time? Let's see, what should I say? What should I say? Well, until next time, remember everyone. Well, no, that's not going to work, is it? Oh well, I'll just say, well, until next time, everybody. See ya.